Looking for business. That's our next category. Julie Mailhot. Originally from Trois-Rivières, Quebec, Julie graduated from Concordia University in 1989 and got set for a career in the world of aviation. 30 years later, Julie is a trailblazer for women in the still mostly male-dominated field. She is currently the Chief Operating Officer of Air Georgian Limited, part of the Air Canada Express family and a major regional carrier. As COO, Julie oversees all operational aspects of Air Georgian, including maintenance, system operation control, flight operations, in-flight, customer relations, and information technology. Pretty amazing for someone who started out as a reservations clerk. But as Julie said early in her career, in aviation, most of the work goes on behind the scenes. The workers that most people see are a tiny fraction of the workforce required to keep those airport gates open and aircraft in the air. Most of the training for the myriad of jobs happens internally, so most people start at the bottom. Well, starting at Air Canada in 1987 as a customer service agent in the call center, Julie quickly transitioned to certified load agent, acting supervisor, and training supervisor. 5 years later, applying for the position of dispatcher, Julie completed the 3-month training course at Transport Canada's Training Institute, followed by 6 months of Air Canada's dispatch training and 6 months of an on-job training. With focus and determination, Julie became Air Canada's first female flight dispatcher in 1995, despite some grumblings from her new colleagues about there being no women in here. By 2001, Julie was one of 9 chief flight dispatchers.
Now, his workday done, he's passed us on to his replacement, Julie Mailhot. She will continue to flight watch through the Toronto night until we are safely down in the Frankfurt morning.
It's busy on midnights because we got everything landing into Europe very soon, and shortly after just do a quick turnaround and we have to take them out of there. So every shift is a very busy shift because there's always somewhere in the world where it's daytime or rush hour, late afternoon. So.
Well, nice to be seen on national television. Shame they pronounced your name incorrectly. Well, in 2002, Julie became the recipient of Air Canada's 20th Edition Award of Excellence and was described in the nominating letter as a shining example of what makes our airline great. By 2002, Julie was leading her team as Chief of Operations, managing a group of 80 dispatchers, including 10 Chief Duty Dispatchers. By 2003, Julie was promoted to Manager Operations and Air Traffic Control Coordination within the branch. In 2008, Julie became one of the 3 directors of System Operation Control and described the job from SOC Podium as overseeing 4 fleet managers per shift who were making sure that the right aircraft was on the right flight at the right time, meanwhile liaising with others in flight dispatch, weight and balance, maintenance, and departure control. She says, imagine putting together a 1,000-piece crossword puzzle every day, only we don't always have all the pieces. Well, some days we do, on the really good days. In 2010, Julie became Director of Aeronautical Support, overseeing 150 employees in 4 different departments. In 2011, Julie became Director of International Operations and Customer Service, overseeing and supporting 71 international stations. Julie then took on the role of Director of Faculty Optimization Programs, leading major projects such as the building of the new Air Canada wide-bodied hangar at Pearson and the backup faculty, a facility for the SOC Centre known as the Hot Site. Julie's leadership, determination, and solid track record proved she was always ready to deliver the best. And in 2015, Julie was chosen as Chief Operating Officer for Air Georgian under the Air Canada Express umbrella, now carrying 1.5 million passengers a year to 31 domestic and transborder destinations. While Julie is a woman of strong executive ability, she is also a woman of great heart. Here she is seen with a young victim of the devastating earthquake that swept over Haiti in 2010. Julie was part of Air Canada's quick response to the disaster that hit the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere. It's not a surprise that Julie has served 23 years as a volunteer for the Dreams Take Flight initiative, including 2 years as president and 10 years as vice president of the Toronto chapter. This national employee-driven charity, started by Air Canada, is dedicated to providing the trip of a lifetime to medically, intellectually, socially, and physically challenged children. And for many years, Julie has served as a dedicated fundraiser and ambassador for the Air Canada Foundation, which supports charities dedicated to the health and wellness of children and youth. And here are just a few of Julie's past and present professional activities. She's been an IATA, International Air Transport Association member since 2005, and chair from 2009 to 2014 of its Regional Coordinating Group for Safety, Operations and Infrastructure for the Latin American and Caribbean regions. She is a guest speaker and panelist in conferences for IATA and for IFALDA, the International Federation of Airline Dispatchers Association. She has served as vice chair for the Lufthansa Group, responsible for Lido, the flight planning system used by many international airlines. She created and has chaired the Systems Operation Control Health and Safety Committee for 7 years, and she's an elected committee member of the Customer Experience Board for Star Alliance, one of the world's largest global airline alliances. You have to get in the door, Julie's always said, and for customer service agent to chief operating officer, she has done just that, paving the way for women executives in aviation and aerospace. Ladies and gentlemen, please a round of applause. Julie Mailhot. And presenting her trophy is Eric Edmondson, President and Chief Executive Officer, Air Georgian. Mr. Edmondson is also President and CEO of Regional Express Aviation Limited, or REAL, the parent and managing company of Air Georgian.
Good evening, everyone. I'm honored to receive this honor tonight. First and foremost, I would like to thank the Northern Lights Foundation for their work attracting young women. Like you can see, this is an accessory for young women like me. To the aviation and aerospace industries. This is important work, as we all know these industries still have concerning gender gaps in their representation. This is problematic for many reasons. Currently, the aviation industry is under scrutiny for the low number of women employed as senior executive and operation staff. At the same time, there's a growing shortage of pilots and AMEs, putting the entire sector's recent growth at risk. Although much has changed since I was one of the only female flight dispatcher at Air Canada many years ago, we are not progressing fast enough, especially for women choosing to have a family. Working in a male-dominated environment can exacerbate the challenges already present of balancing personal and working life. However, I am very hopeful that we will eventually remove the barrier that prevents women from entering aviation. The conversation is shifting, with several airlines listing bold diversity and inclusion targets for their recruitment and retention initiatives. Throughout my career, I have been fortunate to have worked alongside excellent colleagues at Air Canada that always made me feel valued and helped me grow. Some of these fabulous colleagues are actually here this evening, so thank you very much. As a last note, I would like to take a moment to thank the entire team at Air Georgian. You make managing an airline, which is actually the best AC Express carrier in Toronto, an absolute breeze. Thank you again to the Northern Lights Foundation. The work you are doing here is timely and very crucial. Merci beaucoup à tout le monde et bonne fin de soirée.